Hey, human family, how are you? It's Darren. Welcome to another episode of Fully Alive Again. There's an old Arab proverb that states, "The same rain produces thorns in the marshes and flowers in the garden." Think about that. The same rain produces thorns in the marshes and flowers in the garden. Isn't that brilliant? What I take away from this Arab proverb is that some people just aren't going to like you. You're not going to be their jam. That's just the way that life is. We have to learn to deal with people not liking us. You see, as codependents, our identity is already fragile. We are so malleable to the influence or by the influence of others. And when we're in a relationship with a narcissist, our identity can be obliterated over years. It can be eroded, changed, forgotten. This is why it's so important to really understand who and what we really are. So on today's show, I really want to help us rediscover our identity and perhaps rediscover a part of ourselves that we never knew existed. So let's do what we do and dive deep.
No tears, no fears, fully alive again after this years.
I believe it was Nietzsche, the German philosopher, that said, "Be careful while slaying monsters not to become one of them." If you really pay close attention to what he said, is that he didn't say not to slay monsters. He said, be careful that you don't become one of them while doing so. You see, we cannot exist in the world being afraid of other people and other energies that are around us. This body that we're in is over 100,000 years old, this body that we all share, regardless of our race, gender, ethnicity, etc. We are all in the same human body. That's over 100,000 years old. This body that we're in has been developed to survive some serious adversity. I'm going to break down why we are such badasses. There's a lot of talk inside of our wonderful community when it comes to narcissism. That is kind of like an echo chamber. And please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. These type of shows save my life, and they are relevant and they are important. And the redundancy of these types of shows are good too, because the more we hear these things, the more that they stick. They penetrate our psyche and go into the subconscious. But we also need a continuum of growth. You see, where everybody thinks alike, there's very little thinking going on. So I like to challenge some of the status quo and to help us think a little differently about narcissists and about narcissism, and mainly about ourselves. Today, I'm going to talk about the I versus the me in the conditioning of our society. When I say I I don't mean the I like the I that we're looking at this video with. I'm talking about the I that all the great thinkers, philosophers, all of the wisdom generated throughout human history has been talking about. What am I? Who am I? Who is this person looking back at me in the mirror? The more we understand this, the more powerful we will become. I will do this frequently, talking about the I or doing a show about the I, because it is so important. All right, you guys? So let's get into this. We currently live in a society that is governed by emotions. It is my personal opinion we put emphasis on emotions too much. In the world of psychology, even, there's too much time spent on the how I feel side instead of the who I am side. So today I want to take a look at just what it means to be fully human. And the number one reality of that is that we are not our emotions. The graphic that you see in front of you shows the I, which is the hub, the nucleus, the center of our existence. This is what you, me, we are as sentient human beings. The I comes into this world neutral. As a baby, we can speak any language on earth. If you were born in America and you were put in Russian at the age of 1 or younger, you would be a fluent Russian speaker. You can take an infant and put them anywhere on the globe, and they will develop and understand that language and adapt to that culture. This is because we are all part of the I. When you look in the mirror and you're assessing how you look, the I is doing the assessing. You see, we are not our emotions. Whenever I say I'm afraid, there's a part of me that is detached from being afraid. Whenever I say I'm going through anxiety, there is a part of me that is detached from going through the anxiety. When I say I am depressed, there is a part of me that is separate from the depression because I am able to recognize it. When I say I am lonely, you see, we are never any emotion that we're aware of. This is a wheel that is constantly spinning, constantly going around and around. When I say I am depressed, it doesn't mean that I'm not depressed. It just means that I am aware of it and I can come out of it because of the I, if I understand what the I is. To not experience depression after narcissistic abuse would mean that you are dead inside. Depression is a good thing. It is natural. It is not good to become your depression and completely detach from the I, but going through depression after narcissistic abuse is perfectly normal. What, should you be happy? Come on, man. What are you, high? Of course you're going to be depressed. Of course you're going to hurt. This is normal. This is good. This is giving you an awareness, just like if the table was on your toe and you had a 1,000-pound table on your toe is telling you, remove table. This is painful. The depression that you're experiencing is telling you, be careful. There are human predators in the world. You've got some inner work to do. You got to do some healing, and you probably have to go deeper than the person that initiated the depression. Many people are walking around thinking that they are their emotions. I don't care whatever emotion you're experiencing. Give it time. Soon it will pass. Even if you're happy, even if you're satisfied. if you're feeling romantic, if you're bored, if you're excited, no matter if it's a negative or positive emotion, the wheel is going to continue to turn. This is not personal. We live in a society of such convenience, such first world conveniency and comfort that we seriously think we should never experience anything except happy, 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 and satisfied, satisfied. And if anything goes away from that, you get what I'm saying? And I don't mean to be condescending. I'm just trying to drive this home. We cannot expect life to be a continuum of any one of these emotions. And if you step back, because that's the only way to connect with the I, is in silence, shutting down the machine. You can talk about all of these emotions for years, for decades, and from birth till death. And you will never connect with the I until you shut down the chaos. We are designed to never be hurt. I'm going to do, my next show will be on complex post-traumatic stress and why this has been a normal part of human existence, except in children. Everything that I'm saying cuts off when it comes to children. A child being abused and traumatized by a parent is earth-shattering and contradicts everything that I'm saying here. So please understand that right here and now. I want to be very clear about this. But as an adult man or woman, we have to acknowledge the realities of how we have been built for survival, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically to some degree. We are too concerned about emotions and not concerned enough with the I. You see, and we are completely different than our narcissist enemy. And I do say enemy because anyone that wants to harm you is not your freaking friend. You see, the narcissist does not have an I. For whatever reason, and I personally believe it's my own personal opinion from my own research and life experiences, it's just nothing but an empty, dark vessel there. And every emotion that they experience, regardless of what it is, becomes their reality. Do you see how this kind of thinking, this type of strategy for living has been fused into many of our institutions and cultures across the globe? That feelings and emotions are everything. Narcissists don't have an I to connect with. That is what separates us from them. That is what makes you more powerful. But if you try to live like them and become your emotions, and this wheel keeps spinning, it will damage you far more than it damages them. They are built for that shit. I wouldn't want it. I'd rather set myself on fire than to be one of these creatures. But what I'm trying to drive home is that you cannot live this way. And I'm also trying to drive home is that I is your power. Not having an I is unfathomable to me. It doesn't justify the behavior and it doesn't warrant my sympathy. What I've seen these people do to children across the board, I've got no compassion. You have to have a different mode of operations, morals, and ethics when dealing with a person that is built like this. You can't be agreeable. You just can't. Does that make sense, you guys? So let's continue.